Hey guys, here's some footage of me reviewing the Rmax. I really liked it. I think one way it's a lot better than that Can-Am I drove was the Can-Am had sway bars that were way too stiff, which meant that it didn't flex well side to side and it was always lifting a wheel. The Rmax, being a lot shorter wheelbase, still managed to keep in contact with the ground better, which helps you climb better, right? Kept more even pressure on all the tires, more traction, more stability. Overall, just awesome. I absolutely love this thing. I'm gonna buy one, hands down, just for doing the trips I do up to South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, all that stuff. So I'm gonna have one of these for trails and more high speed stuff, and then keep the Pioneer for mudding stuff. I should have my Pioneer any day now, but I really can't overstate how good the Rmax is. And even though it is an incremental kind of improvement built off of the Wolverine 850, it's a totally different machine. Everyone who's been saying that's 100% right. Just huge improvements. It's not perfect. I definitely update the tie rods. Um, it, you know, the engine could sound better, but it's fine. It could have a little lower gearing, but it's fine. For running a 32 inch tire, I don't think you're ever going to hurt that belt. It's a very well put together unit, and it's got an extremely good quality feel that feels like it's going to last a long time.
This is a 2021 Rmax base model two-seater. Rented it from Canyonlands. We're going to the 7 mile rim trail. This thing's been around the block time or two. 1,814 miles. And how many hours? Hours around here somewhere. Let's see. I just saw them. And 185 hours, which is pretty funny. You can see that this thing has averaged almost exactly 10 miles per hour. Those units check out. So we're gonna leave it on temperature, keep it on temperature. We're just gonna reset trip B is when we left, so we're 6.5 miles where we rented it from. So we're gonna reset trip A for this trail, and we're gonna go through and use the mileage points in the Moab backcountry book in order to not get lost, because that's how you're supposed to do it, Charlie. So far we really like this thing. Power is really good. Of course, it's got a real diff lock, unlike the Can-Am. Seating position is way better. Let me go to 0.6 so you can see kind of my point of view. You got really good visibility. I can easily look out and see both tires on the driver's side, which is great for tire placement. And Tori can actually see over her door. She has a nice handle. They do have cameras in this thing, which is funny. So you're being watched, apparently.
And a walkie-talkie.
And a walkie-talkie, which we weren't really told how to use. So that's funny. This is a base model, so there's no screen up here. You can actually pop this down and see that there's not even any wires. And then no switches, no stereo. This is where your drive mode thing would be, which gives you your modes, which I wish I had, but not a big deal. So far, we like it. A lot of miles on it, but it still feels very premium. It still feels more premium than the brand new Can-Am we were in yesterday. But we're about to start putting it through its paces, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so we've put some miles on the Rmax so far, and we're really impressed with it. I actually like it more than a Talon out here. So, obviously shifting gears is really fun, but this thing rides smoother than a Talon, and it's got a whole bed. So we don't have that much gear today, but it's so nice to have a tailgate and a full dump bed. Also, it has a real locking front differential, and I swear it rides smoother than a Talon. The power delivery is really smooth. If I lived somewhere like this that was dry, I'd 100% have an Rmax. Compared to the Can-Am we had yesterday, just night and day difference in quality. See, it's got cast iron knuckles in the front. We like that. Very premium. Fox shocks, standard even on the base model. Really beefy frame and control arms and stuff. And it's a very short wheelbase machine, and you can still haul ass in it because the suspension's so good. This two-seater has a lot more travel in the rear than the four-seater, which is why we got a two-seater. We originally had a four-seater booked, but we didn't need it anymore. We only had two people, so downgraded to the two-seater, but really upgraded the suspension. But it's got really good clearance. This is all stock, 30-inch tires, stock preload adjustment settings and everything. It is a badass machine. The interior is about as far away from the Can-Am you can get. So the Can-Am is a sharp piece of plastic that jabs you in the knee. This one has a nice knee pad built into it. Just very well thought out. Like even the storage box here, which is right above the engine, it's not a ton of storage, but it's got a nice gasket in it, and it feels pretty sturdy. My 850 Wolverine was really flimsy. So this is very similar to the Wolverine 850 mechanically. It's got the same two-cylinder engine back here. You can see it, well, it's really on the other side, but similar, but the way it delivers the power is a lot different, and the suspension is night and day. So, it's kind of an incremental upgrade from the 850 to the 1000, you would think, but it's a totally different machine, the way it handles and revs, and it's just phenomenal. Awesome buggy. Of course, the problem with them is they're extremely hard to snorkel, so for my use and hole paw and all the mud and stuff, kind of sucks. The front locker is great, but I'll open the bed later and show you some of the piping once everything's strapped in. And the piping is just nuts to get the CVT sealed up. The factory air intake for the engine CVT is up here, but the exhaust is down low back here, and that's the real problem. So something I just thought about and kind of noticed are, this roll cage is improved from the Wolverine 850 and my YXZ. How these mounts look is a lot more standard, a little more professional looking. They also have a gusset here, which is great. However, up here, it still bolts across it, and only in 2 spots. And there's no truss. So this roll cage can fold over that way pretty easy. So the roll cage is still crap. Still like Can-Am's roll cage is better. Even I like even the Talon roll cage better. It does have 1, 2, 3 bars bolting across it, but like I said, they're all bolted, nothing's welded, so that's not great. And we just did a pretty steep climb with it. The front end did get light, as you'd expect for a short wheelbase 2-seater, but pretty good considering. The Can-Am was definitely better for steep climbs because it was just so long, and it was also wider. So this is on factory wheels. The Can-Am was on aftermarket wheels, made it a little wider. So we're about to do the waterfall obstacle over here on Poison Spider Mesa. We're not allowed to do Golden Spike, Where Eagles Dare, Rusty Nail, or Gold Bar Rim because of rules. So we're just going to take the purple route, which is Poison Spider. We can't go and do any of this, unfortunately. Right. So another observation is that this thing has pretty puny tie rods. If you actually look at this tie rod end and tie rod, it's identical to what's on my YXZ, and as we know, they are flimsy as shit. So I gotta be careful there. That is the first thing I would upgrade on this vehicle if I was to buy one of these, is those stupid tie rods. All right, so we did so far 64.4 miles. Just topped her off. Took 4 gallons, 4.1 gallons. That means this thing did 15 miles per gallon, and that was a pretty hard climb. The Can-Am, which was a 4-seater, I know, only got 9 miles per gallon. Pretty efficient belt drive. I bet a Talon would have got even better. But so this is a really rough trail, and despite this thing having, you know, almost 2,000 miles on it, and smaller tires and shorter wheelbase, it rides smoother than that Can-Am, and it has no bad noises. Feels really quality. You want yours all the way down too? Probably. Yeah, you're short. Oh yeah. That's a great feature. Thank you, Yamaha. The high-speed stuff we did earlier was in 4-wheel drive. So we'll see how much more lively it is in 2-wheel drive. 4-wheel drive is very impressive. Wow!